Welcome to another episode of Class Haven Farms. So what do we got going on today? Well, today we got an unboxing of the Mech Maxx gasoline-powered 5-inch wood chipper. So if you're interested in this product, we're going to do an unboxing. We're going to put it together, and we're going to chip up some branches here on the farm. So stay tuned. So here's the outside of the box. Did start to open it up here at the top. So it is freighted in. I will say this about the company. They were very good about communicating from the time that I went onto the website and all that. But it took 3 weeks to get this thing out to me. Now, not the company's fault. It's totally the freight company that they use. So that kind of stunk. And that was some of the reviews that I saw. Was a lot of people said it took forever to get this product out there. Now, I will say this: they offer free freight, free lift gate drop off. So that was nice. So if you're looking to buy this, that's all included in the price of the product. I want to say this product here, at the time it was on sale, I think it was $1,700. And if you're interested in these type of chippers, this is pretty comparable to what the DR wood chipper is in price, and hopefully in how it performs. But it is a little bit cheaper than the DRs. I think the DRs run like $2,200 or something like that for the same size. So show you guys here the inside of it, just kind of give you an idea. Definitely well packaged. I don't think it's going to take long to get this thing put together, but I just want to kind of show you guys some step-by-step of it. So as I said, the shipping company was not the best dealing with, but I will say the sales manager did tell me that they were in the process of trying to find a different company because of all the problems that I was having, and so have other customers. So I will say that hopefully they get that worked out. And we are an affiliate for the Mech Maxx company, just became an affiliate for them. So if this is something that you're interested in, there will be a link down at the bottom. Make sure you click the link if you decide to make a purchase and help the channel out. I haven't verified yet if that's going to be a discount link or if it's just going to be a link to help the channel, but it will definitely be there. So this is what it looks like with the all the sides off. It does come with an instruction book to put it together. It comes with some tools to put it together, and looks like it's got a owner's manual for the engine. So yeah, so let's go ahead. I'll get all this plastic and stuff cut off, get everything laid out, and we'll start getting this thing put together. All right, so we got everything laid out. Looks like it's pretty simple. Got to hook the axles up to the bottom of the motor and the chipper. So we'll go ahead and get that knocked out. And while I do that, I'll talk to you guys kind of why I went with this style chipper instead of some of the others. So this one obviously has its own engine on it. It's got a 15 horsepower engine on it. And the reason that I went with something like this is I looked at some of the PTO chippers for putting on the back of the 790, which, you know, that'd be nice. Biggest problem with that is then I'm putting a lot of hours on the 790. And then once you start hooking the chipper up to that and, you know, moving it, having to use the PTO to power the chipper, well, now if I want to move chips or do something like that, I can't do that because now I have the chipper on the back. So, you know, I don't have the ability to be able to use the bucket if I wanted to be able to move stuff or do it. So that, and I didn't want to put the extra hours and strain on the 790. So I thought maybe going with something like this would be better. because I could maybe, blow chips into a wagon or blow chips into the bucket of the tractor, and then I could move them that way. So that was kind of my mindset on there. So for those of you that are interested in a chipper, yeah, you can put them on the back of your tractor. And I had looked at doing that for a long time. That was going to be my plan. And just the more I started thinking about it and how much I use the tractor now to move wood chips and move materials, I didn't really want to do that and tie the equipment up because it's got to be powered by the PTO. All right, so we got the axles and the wheels on. The second part of this, pop this off real quick, is to take this piece and put it so this flat part here is pointing up, and then you'll just, it's got 4 bolts, again 16s, with the regular washers and the locking washers on it. So we'll hook this up, and then from this comes the stand. So the stand will come up into here. So you're going to take that bolt out, and then after that, it's the tongue assembly to go here on the front. When you get to this part, there's something that I want to show you guys because I kind of had to look at it a couple times to try to figure it out. This is your platform for this thing to rest on the ground, and it gives you this bolt to run through. Don't tighten this bolt all the way up, because if you do, it's going to pinch this in and then you won't be able to rotate it. So once you set it down here, you can run this pin through the backside and then pin it in. All right, so we got the tongue on. You can see get the footrest here to hold this thing up. One thing I do like is they keep all of the nuts and bolts and washers and everything are screwed into the areas of where you're going to put them in at. So that is kind of nice, only because then you don't have to worry about it being in a plastic bag and possibly losing it during shipping and all that stuff. So I do like that. It looks like this is threaded into the assembly here, which is good because then you don't have to worry about trying to come into the backside and hold the nuts tight. So you can tighten this thing up. It does look like it has this is a rubber gasket here. So be mindful of that. When you go to put this thing together, you're going to have to line the gasket up as well as the hardware. So I don't know, I'm kind of excited about this. Like I said, this is a new partnership with the Mech Maxx company. And they also sell stump grinders, obviously wood chippers. They sell some other farm tractor attachments and things like that. So the link that is down at the bottom, not only can you just use that link to purchase this chipper, but you can also use that link. And as long as you click on that link before you make a purchase, no matter what it is, it will help out Class Haven Farms. I did verify it. Right now, it is not a discount code if you use the link. So it's not going to give you an extra discount, but it will help support the YouTube channel, which helps us out. I think the best way to do this would probably be to hook the gasket on there. Yep, I think that's going to be the way to do it, so you can cheat and run the hardware through the chute and the gasket. We're trying to do this without a workbench or anything like that. It's not the easiest thing in the world. One day I'll get all that moved up here and get myself more established as far as workspace and things, but this is just where we're at for now. So money is king, and when you're paying all this other stuff off, it's hard to have all that extra money for workshops and things like that. So I'm just glad to have a place a home to live in, because while it was cool living in the camper, it got old real quick, fast, and in a hurry. So maybe if I was living in the camper and that was the only job that I had, I was retired and had at least I know some kind of income coming in. Maybe that would be an okay thing as long as I was staying on the property and living in it. But when you're still working full time, having to have your uniforms and all your work stuff, and then obviously having the kids in a camper is not ideal. So I just take what I have now, man. I'm very, very fortunate with where I'm at and what I have going on. So I'm very thankful for where this journey has taken me. All right, so it really doesn't look like there's any certain way that this chute could go on, because this is the discharge chute. So this will, this head moves around, so you don't have to worry about that being in a fixed position, because it does move around. All right, so I got the chute on, the exit chute. I will say this, that is kind of a pain trying to get those bolts lined up with that gasket, but it's on there. This thing does have where you can rotate this and move it around, change the direction. It also has where you can change the angle you're trying to shoot the chips in and around. You know, the last video that I did was on the new Vevor cart that I got, and my mindset is what I'm probably going to do is build a box on that, and then I can blow these chips into that box of that little Vevor dump cart, and then I'll be able to use it to dump, especially where we plan on using this today is down in the bottom where the goats are, and start clearing that path for the tractor path for all the equipment and stuff to go up and down the backside of the property. So next thing we got to do is get the feed chute put on. Something that I will say about this, that's kind of a drawback to this model, is that like the DR models, some of the other models, they have like a hinge system here, and then you just have a clip system where you can clip this chute off and open it up, so that if you do get a clog while you're working, you can shut this machine down, pop those pins loose, and then swing this thing out and clean all that debris out that that's clogging this thing up. Where if it happens with this one, you're going to have to unbolt it and go through the process that I just went on to put this chute on. So I will say kind of one of the drawbacks about it, but again, it's in the price that you pay for something. It's on what you want to do. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal until I get a jam, and then I'll probably think it's a big deal. So let me go ahead and get this thing on, and then I'll show you guys the finished product, and we'll get some oil in it and get it started up. Before I tighten this chute up, you had to run a pin in here in the top and a pin here on the bottom. I was able to do it by myself, but it was a little tricky, mainly because it has fresh powder coat on it. So obviously I didn't want to just slide right in. Move you guys over here, and on this side, sorry to put the sun in your eyes, it just has a nut and bolt to come back here. I guess the good thing about that is this, since it swings out, this side would be a little bit easier to take apart if you did have a jam. But again, you would still need to have some tools with you in order to fix that. The good thing is that they do put a tool bin here, and it does give you some tools to be able to, I guess, keep with this equipment, so that if you have bolts or something come loose, it's not too hard. Oh, this is going to be fun by myself. This is going to be real fun by myself because it wants to spring out. So it does give you that ability to be able to hold tools in there, so that's good. I did think about that. Let's see how I'm going to do this. Hopefully that bolt doesn't fall all the way through. At least let me get it started. And I didn't mention, but this has the Teflon nuts, again, for what you're using this equipment for, the vibration and all that. You have the lock washer here, you have a regular washer, and then you have a nut with the Teflon end on it to help so that these nuts don't come loose while you're out here working, because it's going to have a lot of vibration to it. So I just wanted to show that up close. Really, all in all, this piece of equipment was not hard to put together. Very, very simple to put together. I ran out of time yesterday. Lily Tamer had a birthday party she needed to go to, and then a good friend of mine was retiring from work, so I stopped and kind of did something for him. And by the time I got done with getting everybody where they needed to be, we ran out of daylight. So here I am on Saturday trying to get this video finished, and maybe I'll have time tonight to get it uploaded. So if you've hung on this long, thanks. Really do appreciate it. We are going to get some oil in this thing and get it running and run some chips through it. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, because tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So happy new year to everybody. It's been a fun year here with the YouTube channel. I mean, it's just over another year of me starting this channel back up on my new property here. As I've said time and time again, after going through a divorce and all that fun stuff. So it is fun to kind of be back at it, because I miss doing stuff like this. You're living in your camper, you don't get to do stuff like this. So it's nice to be back out doing this. And it's really thankful for the Mech Maxx company working with me here and getting this piece of equipment out to me so I can use it here on the property and do a review for them. And hopefully we can build a partnership, because as I said, if you haven't checked them out, they have a lot of other products that are out there, stump grinders and all kinds of other stuff. So, check it out. I don't know. Looks like a pretty decent piece of equipment. I think it's going to do really well for us. So this does have a safety feature on it. So it's got an emergency cutoff switch, which, to tell you the truth, I know this is going to sound crazy because I'm getting old, but when I'm doing stuff like this by myself, that's actually kind of a blessing nowadays. Because if something was to happen, it's just me. So walk you guys back over here, because here is the emergency button here. So if something happens, you get hung up, or a branch or something gets hung up on your arm, which, believe it or not, it can happen, and you can't get free, you can at least turn this thing off, so you don't have to worry about this thing chipping. So I do like that. Some of the other models have a key switch here. This just has an emergency button that you hit there. So I don't know. I do like that. I know we are definitely becoming a society of mandates and safety features and things like that. But as I said, with me being here by myself working on the property, most of the time, if something happened and my arm did get pinched, or who knows, it would be nice to be able to turn that thing off. I probably wouldn't be able to reach the off switch, because the off switch for this thing is there. So that would be a pretty good reach if something were to happen and I got hung up. I don't know that I would be able to reach that. So, yep. So that's it put together. This kit doesn't come with oil, so you do have to put oil in it. So it's 10W30 oil, which, the Chicken Whisperer and the Lily Tamer got gift cards to a local feed store. So we went out last night. They used their gift cards, and then I picked up some 10W30 oil because I didn't have any here. So I'm going to go ahead and get some oil in this thing. We'll drop some gas in it. We'll get it started up, and then we'll hook it on the back of the 790, take it down here to the corner of the bottom pasture, and start getting some limbs chipped up. All right, we got oil and gas in it. So the choke is to slide it all the way up here. Your fuel goes that way. The instructions tell you to put it into the turtle mode when you go to start it. We'll go ahead and flip our switch on. Let's see if she starts. It says to let it warm up a little bit before you start to slide it up into the run mode. So right now, it's just the engine running. It has a secondary clutch that, as you slide the throttle from the turtle up to the rabbit, it actually opens up the secondary, and then that's what starts the wood chipper. So let's go ahead and slide it up. All right, so the chipper's on now. how that's supposed to work. Cut this off. Okay, so I don't know how that's supposed to work because I can't. There's no way for me to lock this in to the rabbit. Well, so here's the turtle and then here's the rabbit, but there's no way to lock this thing in. So I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to keep it in that rabbit mode to be able to wood chip, because if you're doing 5-inch branches that are green, you're going to need this thing all the way towards that rabbit in order to wood chip those things up. So there's a nut here with a hole in it, and then there's another screw up there. Maybe there's supposed to be a spring or something to keep it locked in. But I guess that's something that I'll have to contact the company about and figure out. So, all right. So I emailed Mech Maxx, let them know what I had going on, and they responded right away. It's actually a pretty common issue. All it is it's one 10mm nut on the top of this throttle linkage. So it's this nut right here, and you just need to tighten it up. So if you look, this was the problem we were having, right? So if we tighten this thing up, this should fix our issue. So let's go ahead, we'll tighten it up real quick. I'll do it with you guys watching me, so that way we can see if this fixes it. And then if anybody else has this problem, then they will know what to do when they run into this. So maybe this is a good thing. It is a little loose. All right, it's definitely better. Let's try tightening it up a little bit more. So that was good. I mean, I emailed them and they right away said, yep, this is going to be the problem. Just need to tighten that. Yep. That's it. So that's full throttle. That's all the way throttled down towards the turtle. And this is throttled all the way up to the rabbit. So that fixed it. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. Fuel's on, choke's on. Awesome. All right, let's get this thing hooked up to the tractor and take it down where the goats are and start chipping some limbs up. All right, so I went ahead and unhooked the tractor and set the stand up here on the bottom. I'm just going to blow some of these chips over this way. I would normally, the game plan is to keep all of these things for making compost and all that, but I just want to try to, I'm starting to run out of daylight again. common occurrence with me. And I want to try to get some chips through this so that you guys can see it. So I'm just going to blow them out into the bottom of this pasture field here, away from the goats. This was all stuff that the kids and I cut up because we're starting to make this path up through the back and pushing the goats ahead of us to trim it up prior to me having to come in and cut everything out. So it looks like it's starting to rain on us a little bit too. So let me go ahead and get this thing started up. So, as I said, I'm running out of daylight and it's kind of dark out and it's starting to rain a little bit, but these are the wood chips that I'm getting out of this. Now, some of this was dead limbs that had been sitting for a while. Some of it was green, most of it was dead, but I just wanted to try to run something through the chipper so you guys got to see it. But I'll tell you, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. Definitely, I've never had a chipper with this much horsepower to it before. I'm used to like the 5 horsepower ones, so this thing will definitely grab it and yank it out of your hands. There's no doubt about that, so don't be hanging on to it for too long. But I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff, because this will definitely be something that we do more of. Since I got you guys down here, I'll walk you through the plans that I have. So, as some of you know, if you've been following me for a while, we started the goats over on that corner, and every 4 weeks we have moved them, right? So I put them on that hill because that is way too steep for me to be able to cut. And then there's all the rock drainage. So here in the center was an old garden that used to be here from the gentleman that used to own this property. And neighbor and I tore all that stuff out. Actually, my neighbor did most of it with his tractor, tearing all that stuff out. And we have slowly worked the goats. We brought them here onto this hill, put them around this holly tree, down on this hill, and this is where they just were. And then we just moved them, the kids and I just moved them here this weekend. So the game plan is to continue to work the goats up this hill through the woods and up towards the other side of the property where my tobacco barn is. So if any of you have ever watched the very first video, and I'll link that up here at the top, that I did here at the new property after going through my divorce. I showed you the tobacco barn and all that. Well, that's where we're trying to work to. We're trying to get up to this hill. This was an old path that the gentleman that used to live here had, an old 40 John Deere that he used to bring down here to cut this bottom pasture. So the game plan is to widen this out, take some of these taller trees out. I'm going to leave some of the younger ones there because I want to try to promote some good growth. But I want to take some of the bigger ones out so the younger ones can flourish. And this tree was one that I had cut down when I first bought the property because it was actually leaning down across here, and I had to have some trees cut down up by the house because I had one that was getting into root intrusion in the septic. So long story short, I had this tree cut down. Since that company was already here, I was like, hey, go drop that one down the bottom of the hill so I don't have to worry about it. So I started bucking that up for firewood for next year. And the plan is to slowly take the goats. Look at Rosie getting into that. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. Rosie's over there chewing on the branches. So slowly work the goats up ahead of me. And then as they go through and get some of this underbrush and the small saplings that I don't want to keep, then I will come in behind them and take some of the bigger stuff out so the smaller stuff can grow. So yeah, so this chipper will definitely get some more action here. And as I said, I'm just blowing the wood chips over there for right now, but I would normally keep all those. And I think my game plan is to build a little box over top of the Vevor 1,500-pound ATV cart and use that to hold on to the chips. And then we can use that for, look at Myth. Look, I tried to, hey, look, I'm going to have to, that's not going to work. I use plastic bags to try it out, to try to winterize that a little better for them. But between the wind and curious goats, that is not going to stay there. So I'll have to come up with a different game plan. So if you like this kind of stuff, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe to the channel. As I said, there will be a link down at the bottom in this description. So if you're interested in purchasing that wood chipper, make sure you click on the link, and that will help support the channel. And as I said in the past, if you're into this kind of stuff and this is something that you like to watch and like to see things grow, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow us along. So as always, I'll see you on the next one.